So, it's being reported from reliable Portuguese sources that the João Mário Alberto Costa plus 6 million deal is done. Here we go. It's concluded. It's final. Juventus have gotten their hands on 6 million and a new right back, and Porto have gotten their hands on Alberto Costa. What do we make of it? Like, what do we truly make of it? I don't know, guys. I'll be real. Like, we all have a friend that talks for the sake of talking. Sometimes just keep your mouth shut. We've all got a friend that creates problems for the sake of creating problems. Why? This whole Alberto Costa obsession over the past 2 to 3 weeks, where Juventus have been open to letting him go and they're chatting to Sporting and they're chatting to Porto. Why? Like, he's an asset that, based off the last 3 Serie A games that we saw of him and based off the Club World Cup, he's an asset, a footballer with an upwards trajectory. Okay, so like Alberto Costa is on the rise. Okay, it might be slow, it might be a bit steady at times, but Alberto Costa, the one thing that we could all agree on, he is an asset on the rise. João Mário from Porto, based off what I've seen of him, and I only really ever caught eye to him during the Club World Cup, but I wasn't really too impressed. And based off what I've read of Porto fans online, he is an asset on a downward trajectory. Oh, don't worry, it gets far worse than that. Alberto Costa's 21. João Mário is 25. Some might turn around and say, yeah, like he's more experienced. He understands the game a little bit better. The dude's not even a right back by trade. He's not a right back by trade. From what I know, he's a right winger that got demoted into a right back, and then it was a saving grace that the last Porto manager played a wing back system. I feel like the wing back system, it suits wingers that aren't the best of wingers, but now they can play as wing backs. Like, do you know what I mean? You're not really signing a guy that's mastered the right back position, let alone refined it and catered his game to it. Like, he's genuinely a player that people are looking at and saying, yeah, under Fariola, the new Porto coach, we don't know if you could do it in a 4-3-3 where you're now not a wing back and there's now going to be a bit more focus on what you can do defensively. So because of that, we are going to let you go. And to make matters worse, like, put yourself in any Porto board member's shoes. If you're going into negotiations and you know what you're offering isn't the best, there's a reason why you'd offer cash. Like, think of it like this. In terms of quality, if they were like for like, João Mário for Alberto Costa, the fact that you're offering João Mário plus 6 million, what does that tell you on how highly you rate your asset and how highly you rate our, like, Juventus's asset? It's not making sense, man. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't really want to paint this narrative that, like, it's all doom and gloom and Alberto Costa is the next Dani Alves, but I just look at it and tell myself, heading into the summer transfer window, or like just me sat minding my own business, looking at it from a distance, okay? I was like, Juventus need themselves a new striker. In my opinion, Juventus need themselves 2 new centre-halves at the minimum. Juventus, if the opportunity presents itself, need themselves maybe a new attacker, like somebody that can play with Kenan Yildiz, maybe rotate with Kenan Yildiz, maybe somebody that's better than like Conceição, Nico Gonzalez, Coop Miners, okay? Juventus also need themselves a midfielder, okay? I never ever went into the summer and said, Juventus actually need themselves a new fullback or a new wing back. Wing back depth is very different to needing a starting wing back, because I was of the mindset, Cambiasso on the left, Alberto Costa on the right, maybe bring in a player that's versatile, that can play on both. Maybe Tudor might change up the formation. You never know. But I never ever told myself Juventus need themselves a starting position right wing back, because based off what I saw against Lazio, against, I believe, which games did he play? He played Venezia, he played Udinese, and I think he played Lazio. Based off those last 3 games, crunch time, business end of the season, practically thrown into the deep end, having not played hardly any minutes under Thiago Motta, Alberto Costa's done well. He goes into the Club World Cup. Yeah, I feel like against the far better opposition, he was a little bit exposed defensively, but offensively, he still showed he can do a lot. And at the end of the day, he's 21, very raw, very underdeveloped, very underexperienced. Like, usually when we say this player is 21, especially nowadays in the modern game, you automatically expect a 21-year-old to have like 100 appearances under their belt. For example, Kenan Yildiz. Kenan Yildiz is what, 2021? He's got a lot of appearances under his belt. Alberto Costa is the complete opposite. I feel like he's a late bloomer. Like, he popped onto the scene very late. He's 21. But you could see his game, it needs developing. But the reason why I was like, he's definitely an asset worth keeping and worth developing and worth working on, is because I saw some good traits. Like, he's tenacious, he's aggressive, he presses, he's got a good cross on him, he's got an eye for goal. Like, he's very attacking minded. As much as I feel like defensively he needs some work, he's not a passenger. Like, he makes errors just like every defender does, but I wouldn't call him a liability in any way. But as a 21-year-old, I'm willing to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good. So I don't understand why, like, in the past 2 to 3 weeks, Juventus have been trying to get rid of him. Don't get me wrong. The only deal that, in my opinion, would have made sense is probably Morten Hjulmand with Sporting for Alberto Costa. Because at the end of the day, let's be real, when you start comparing the two assets, Hjulmand is more in demand, more penetrative, far more developed, far more experienced, far more impactful on this Juve team than somebody like Alberto Costa. So because of that, you have to offer a player and some cash. But it's now the complete opposite. In my opinion, Juventus have now given away the far better prospect, the far better player, and in return, got a player that, in my opinion, is nothing special, and 6 million. And the 6 million is nothing substantial. Like, it's not as if you've gotten 50 million. 6 million, what are you really going to do with that? Like, that's half of Dusan Vlahovic's yearly wages. Like, I don't get it, guys, I'll be honest. Like, it doesn't make sense. When the report first came about, I was a little bit baffled. I was a little bit thinking, like, what's going on? Why are so many teams inquiring over him? And why are Juventus moving so desperate to let him go? Like, don't get me wrong, if they sold him 25 million, you could always turn around and say 15 million profit. In my opinion, Juventus have not won in this deal. Juventus have not won in this deal. The far better prospect, the far better player, I feel like even somebody that's just more suited to the wing-back position, Alberto Costa, has left. They've brought in João Mário. I don't think he's anything special. Now, of course, I haven't really sat down and watched much of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's more coming for depth and Juventus will now go out on the hunt for a wing-back to be a starter. But now it just becomes a case of creating a problem for the sake of creating a problem. There's so many other areas that require Juve's attention, especially centre-half, rather than now getting into the market for a wing-back, to find yourself a starting right-back. I truly don't get it. Like, I would genuinely love to hear you guys' opinions. And I understand that maybe Alberto Costa is not everybody's cup of tea, and nobody's trying to paint the narrative that he is the next big thing, but you've genuinely downgraded in this deal. You've downgraded in this deal. When the team you're dealing with is over the moon that they've sold this player to you, that should be the biggest alarm bell. That should be the biggest alarm bell. The one thing I've learned in football, whenever you're negotiating with a team and they're over the moon to see that player go, you should always be worried. You should always be worried. Now, anyways, if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on another one.